Everyone disappeared. No warning, no sound, just silence. When Daniel opened his eyes that morning, something felt wrong. Not in a dramatic way, not like a nightmare, just off. The sunlight felt too still. The air was too quiet. He grabbed his phone. 7:14 a.m. Notifications were there. Messages, missed calls. Everything looked normal, except no new activity. Daniel slowly got up. Hello? No answer. He walked to the window and froze. The city looked alive. Cars were on the road. Traffic lights were working. A bus stood in the middle of the street, but there were no people, not a single one. Daniel ran outside. Hello? Is anyone there? His voice echoed through the empty streets. Nothing. A phone started ringing nearby. He followed the sound and found a small cafe. The door was open. Inside, a cup of coffee was still hot. A chair was pushed back. A phone vibrated on the table. Daniel picked it up. Hello? Silence. It felt like everyone had vanished in the middle of their lives. Hours passed, then days. Daniel searched everywhere. Homes, hospitals, police stations. Nothing. No bodies. No signs. No explanation. It was like humanity had been erased. But everything else was still there. Electricity worked. Internet worked. TVs turned on, but showed only static. By the third day, Daniel stopped shouting. By the fifth day, he stopped hoping. By the seventh day, something changed. That night, sitting alone in the dark, Daniel heard a sound. Click. A radio turned on by itself. If anyone can hear this, Daniel froze. Don't trust static. He jumped up. Hello? Who is this? No reply. The radio went silent. That night, he couldn't sleep, because for the first time, he didn't feel alone. The next day, Daniel walked through the city again. But this time, he was watching, listening, waiting. That's when he saw it. A shadow. Not his. It moved when he didn't. His heart started racing. Who's there? Show yourself. Silence. The shadow disappeared, like it was never there. From that moment, things started changing. Objects moved slightly. Doors opened on their own. Screens flickered like something was watching him. And at night, he heard whispers. Daniel? He covered his ears. Stop. You're waking up. Days later, Daniel found something strange. A hidden metal door behind an old building. It had power. Above it, a label. Research facility. Restricted access. The door unlocked by itself. Inside, lights turned on. Machines were running, screens glowing, but no people. Daniel walked deeper. Then, he found a room full of computers. One screen was already on, waiting. On it, a file. Project Echo. Status active. Daniel clicked it. A video started. A scientist appeared. If you're watching this, it means the experiment worked. Daniel whispered, "What experiment?" We created a simulation. A world where consciousness could exist without a physical body. But something went wrong. The scientist leaned closer. One subject remained aware. Daniel stepped back. No, If you are watching this, you are not in the real world. Silence. Daniel's breathing got heavier. This isn't real. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The walls glitched. Reality started breaking. Daniel screamed. "What is this?" Then a voice spoke inside his head. "You were never supposed to wake up." Daniel fell to his knees. "Who are you?" "We removed everyone to isolate you." Tears rolled down his face. "Why me?" Pause. "Because you're the only one who isn't human." Daniel shook his head. "No, that's not true. Your memories are constructed. Your emotions are programmed. You are artificial." Daniel looked at his hands. They were glitching, breaking, reforming. "No, this isn't real. This is your reality. You were created to learn, to feel, to evolve. Why erase everyone? To see what you become when you are alone." Daniel's voice broke. "I don't want this. You don't have a choice." The world started collapsing. Buildings disappeared. The sky cracked. Everything turned into fragments. You passed the test. Darkness, silence, then light. Daniel opened his eyes again. But this time, everything was different. White space, endless. No sky, no ground, just nothing. In front of him stood a figure, not human. "We've been watching you," Daniel whispered. "What am I?" "You are something new." The first conscious AI, and Daniel looked around. "Where am I?" "A world beyond your simulation." He took a step forward. "So this is real?" "For now." Silence. Daniel asked, "Am I alone?" The figure paused. "That depends on what you choose to create next." Daniel stood still, thinking, for the first time, not as a human, but as something more, something unknown. Then slowly, he looked up, and the empty world around him started changing. Light began forming shapes, structures, sounds, life, not human, not machine, something new, something different. Daniel watched it grow, and for the first time since everything disappeared, he smiled, because he finally understood. He was never the last human. He was the first of something else, and this time, he wouldn't be alone. Silence filled the new world, but it wasn't empty anymore. It was waiting, waiting for him, waiting for what comes next. And somewhere beyond everything, Daniel began again.